another episode of Sacred Harmony, where we explore the profound and transformative power of self discovery and inner peace. I'm your host, Anya, and today we have an extraordinary guest with us, Vesta Hurlbutt. Vesta is an empowerment strategist, cardiovascular technologist, Hoponopono practitioner, health coach, and a single mother who dedicates her life to helping people reclaim their inner strength and power. Vesta, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Mhm. So let's dive right in. Our topic today is the power of choosing you, and I can't wait to hear your insights. So,
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's absolutely. So, Vesta, what does choosing you mean to you personally, and how has it helped shape your journey?
I'm like as you said, I'm a single mom, and when you're a parent, it doesn't or just in general, we live this life a lot of times just going about doing what we think other people think we should be doing or we're doing it to make somebody else happy. And I think the power of choosing you, it's not like this huge epiphany of things to do. It's more just little tiny things in life that that you do that choose you, that make you happy, that adds up so much to make your life happy and full. And no matter where you are and what you're doing, if you're having a bad day, if something as small as like choosing you by going outside for 5 minutes during your lunch instead of staying around like a toxic environment, that 5 minutes might save your day. So little things like that is what choosing you. And it, when you feel super stuck, which I feel like a lot of us do feel stuck in the same old rut that we're in, that little tiny bit of choosing you just gives you an empowerment, and it empowers you to feel free and open to a much, much more beautiful life.
Absolutely. So, can you share a pivotal moment when you realized the importance of choosing yourself?
Yes, I was a single mom and I had zero time to myself. I am not complaining. I love my son more than anything. He's 21 now and he's still my world. We live far apart, but he's still my world. But when he's about elementary school and I realize it's just me and him, I'm at a place where there's no family around and I have zero time to myself. I work and I'm with the kid and it's great and I love him. But, as a human, for me, I love alone time too. And I was stressed out and I took it out on him often. And I like to read books. I like to read fiction books, nonfiction books and stuff like that. So I realized that my me time, the time that I learned how to choose me, was I had my coffee time in the morning. It was so important to me. I still have, with my, his whole life, basically now I've had that morning coffee where I can just sit and be by myself and just shut off the world for, it could be 5 minutes. Now it's anywhere from 5 minutes to 2 hours if I want. Depends on the day, depends on what I have to do that later that day. But when he was younger, it was so pivotal in me finding just 5 minutes where I wasn't worried about anybody else. I was just choosing me.
Mm-hmm. It's fascinating how a single moment can redefine our entire perspective. I believe many listeners can relate to this transformative realization.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say everyone, but most people in today's society, everybody, like, you get up, you go to work, you work, you come home, you whatever, you worry about dinner, you worry about everything. And it's just slowing down sometimes and just finding that 5 minutes or however long it's so necessary for your well-being and your health and your happiness. I think, yeah, everybody could really benefit from that 5 minutes.
Absolutely. As an empowerment strategist, how do you guide others to prioritize themselves without feeling guilty or selfish?
First thing I would do as an empowerment strategist is I would figure out why why somebody doesn't take time to themselves, because there's different reasons and different things. For me, it was very internal perfectionism. My life has to be perfect. My I need to do everything right. And but some other people might be doing it because they might be performing for love, for example. So they feel like they have to do everything for another person in order to get that love. I think the first thing as an empowerment strategist that I would do is self-love. Teach somebody that they are worth love. They are worthy of loving themselves, and they are worthy to receive love from others. And when you open your heart and your mind to see how much love you can receive in a day-to-day basis, then you start to realize, oh, I am lovable. I can do this. And when you have self-love, you might be like, okay, I'm worth 5 minutes of my time. And eventually you're going to be like, oh, I'm worth a full day. I mean, it's the full day is interesting because when you do have kids and a husband and loved ones and stuff like that, you might not get a full day. But if you can get a full hour, you work your way up, and you really feel your self-worth rising,
Mhm.
and it's amazing.
Right, absolutely, 100%. So, what are some common challenges people face when they start this journey, and how can they overcome them?
One right off the top of my head is
Mhm.
receiving. One This is a perfect example. Where I'm at now, I work with a woman who I love so much. We just hit it off, and we're like BFFs. I always call her my soul sister. She has the hardest time receiving. And when I say receiving, it's not just gifts. But one time I bought her a bag of these really delicious spicy peas. It's, very, very irrelevant.
Mhm.
I just gave them to her. It was like $3. I don't know, maybe $5. I was like, oh, I got you these at the store last night because I know you love them. And she almost couldn't take them because she felt so unworthy of something so small. And there was a time I was like that. I had a friend try to he bought me a jacket, and I couldn't, like, I had the hardest time receiving it. Like, I'm not worthy of it. It wasn't expensive, but I was like, I'm not, like, basically I was saying, I am not worthy of this gift. But even as simple, it doesn't have to be a gift. It could just be a compliment. When I tell my friend how amazing her heart is and how she just lights up a room when she comes in, she like shies away. Her whole body language like shuts in because she can't receive that compliment. So I think the first thing that I could help people with is learning how to receive a compliment and how to receive. It is okay for somebody to say how amazing you are, and you just say thank you.
Mm-hmm. It's so important to address these challenges head on because, like, guilt can be such a heavy burden, but overcoming it can lead to incredible growth.
Absolutely. And I often talk about my goal in life, which I'm there essentially, is emotional freedom. And I love freedom. I Emotional freedom and love. They're my two things that I just want to spread and give and show people that you can be the kindest, most loving person in the whole wide world
Mhm.
and still make so much time for yourself and receive compliments and receive anything you need to receive.
Right, that's beautiful. So, how has your practice of Ho'oponopono influenced your approach to self empowerment and forgiveness?
So if you don't know what Ho'oponopono is, it's a old Hawaiian tradition. There's a lot of science behind it, but you just say four phrases: I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. And you can say it to different things. I use it. I love it. I embrace it. So I use it cuz in my life, I've been known to be a little bit of a control freak, not controlling in the sense that I want to control other people, but I want to control situations and things. So, like, for instance, I still get sometimes, but I used to get crazy mom brain, meaning I'm far away from my kid. Like, we're a 5 hour time difference right now. So
Mhm.
I would, like one time he went camping with his friends and they stayed at a cabin and I couldn't call him because he had no service, which I knew before he went. So it's not even a thing. I went down this rabbit hole of all the things that could happen to him. That's what I mean by crazy mom brain. I knew he was fine. He was with people like children I knew, and he was, I say children loosely, they were adults, but so I said, I have him dead in the ditch. He's dead in a ditch somewhere, and I'm stressed out and all this stuff. What Ho'oponopono does is it calms my brain. So when I say I'm sorry, I'm saying to the universe, like, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. I'm sorry that I forgot that you are taking care of me. Please forgive me that I forgot. Um, Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for taking care of me, and I love you for taking care of me. And I just repeat it over and over and over. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. Sometimes I just say it in my head for minutes, however long, and it makes me take that second to just take a breath and realize what is happening in my world, and everything is okay. Like, don't make problems where there's not problems. So that's what Ho'oponopono does to me.
Mm-hmm. Like the power of forgiveness, especially self forgiveness, is truly transformative. And like it's inspiring to hear how ancient practices can have such a profound impact today.
Oh, it really is, and it's such a simple practice that I can't believe it's not as widely known as maybe I'm always like, Ho'oponopono, Ho'oponopono, and people are like, what is that? I'm even in Hawaii, and people don't even know what that is, and it's a Hawaiian tradition. So,
Right. So, in your role as a cardiovascular technologist, so how do you balance the demands of your profession with your commitment to self care and empowerment?
that's a fantastic question because the one of the reasons I am here meeting you right now is because of the job. The CBT job. I had a job for 9 years that I felt really, really stuck. And I went to school and I got more degrees and I eventually left, and I still do the same job, which is super funny because I was like, I hate my job. I need to change it, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't the job. It was, there's a lot of things I felt really stuck there in my life in all the things. So I did this major emotional upheaval. And so as I did that, I learned so much about myself. And I have learned that all of my emotions and all of my feelings are mine. Nobody can change, nobody can affect them. So if I'm angry at somebody, that is on me, not them, no matter what they did. So when I learned that, I was like, okay, so I go to work and I love work. I love the people I work with, but there are still trying times because it's not something I probably want to do forever. So, there's trying times, and it's usually involving the institution of what I do, meaning I love patient care. I could do that all day. I love interacting with my staff members. That's really, really fun, but it's like the rigmarole of a full-time job, right? I mean, it's just you got to work, you got to go in at a certain time. You were supposed to leave at 5, but this is X, Y, and Z is happening now, so you're going to not leave till 7, which is fine which see, now I'm saying it's fine, but that was some of the things that I hated at the job before. But now I'm just like, oh, it's life. Things are happening, we're fine. It's as an empowerment strategist, I learned how to empower myself to be calmer and not take things so seriously and not let them affect me. Now, mind you, I am a work in progress, so I am not perfect at this by any means. But I definitely know I'm 90% better than I used to be, because I used to have to go to work and say, I'm going to have a good day today. I'm going to have a good day today, because I would just get there and be so angry, and I'm just not angry anymore.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. And like I get it, the healthcare field is incredibly demanding, and finding that balance is crucial for both like personal well-being and professional effectiveness.
Yes, I have a really great morning routine also, as I said about the coffee, but I also journal and I meditate, and it starts my day. Instead of starting my day of saying things like, I'm going to have a great day, I'm going to have a great day. Now I just sit down, I like take some breaths, and I kind of just feel the world around me. And then when I go to work, I still have that Zen feeling for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as a single mother, What strategies have you found the most effective in maintaining your self worth and self esteem amidst the challenges of parenting?
As a single mom, it's tough. That's really tough. Man, one thing is I eventually, because there was times when I was like, I need a boyfriend, I want a boyfriend. But then when my son was about, I don't know, 10, I kind of thought, I'm just gonna raise him and be the best mom I can be. It's short amount of time. And he got the worst of my anger and my disgruntledness, even though I was worried about um the job or angry about the job. I kind of took it out on him a little more than I meant to, and things like that. And so as you can hear me talking, I'm talking about my imperfections. So the key to this is I wish I would have known 10 years ago how amazing I was doing. And was I perfect? Absolutely not. But I have had to forgive myself so many times because I'll think about things and the way I acted when Blaze was younger that I've been holding on to because it was so in my eyes, it was so terrible. But my kid is amazing, first of all. And that is a testament to him, not me in the end. But he is so amazing. We had so much fun together. We still have so much fun together. And I think concentrating on what I had in the moment, I missed a little bit of that because I was so stuck on stuck. But I eventually, I was freeing myself, but I, that self forgiveness of not being the perfect parent, which I don't even know what that actually means, but I was unkind to him sometimes, but now that I'm saying this, he knows how much I love him. That has never wavered. No matter what he's done in his life, it's never wavered. He knows how much I love him. And he also, like, we have an amazing relationship of a 21-year-old and his mom. Like, it's so good. I wouldn't trade it for anything. And if my journey was different, our relationship might be different right now. So everything is happening perfectly as it should.
Absolutely, and that's amazing. Parenting is a journey of constant learning and growth. It's heartening to hear how you instill these values in your children.
Yeah, it's definitely a journey and growth. I hope, actually, I have a podcast called the Open Heart Healing Podcast, and when I was learning how to do it, as as a podcaster, it's a little bit unnerving at the beginning. And my coach at the time, she was like, "You need a podcast that where you talk just about you, so you can refer people so they know what they're talking about." Um, so I had my son interview me, and it was so amazing because I asked him if any of my emotional healing journey has affected him. And he talks about how it has affected him more positively, and he is more positive because I'm more positive. So that also is such an amazing feeling because all this time, up until not then, but like a little bit before then, I was beating myself up because of a few instances as a child, while he was a child, that I was not kind like I wanted to be. And here he is watching me grow, and he's growing from it. So I think that is an amazing feat.
Absolutely. So, how do you help your clients rekindle their self worth and embrace their power, especially those who have faced significant setbacks?
Um, so I would take a client through, it would have to be a few weeks. I have a few clients that I've been working with for a while. And what we do is, first of all, everybody is so different and everybody's stuck in different ways. Everybody needs to find that power of choosing you in other ways. So it's very, very person to person. But as a basis, the very minor basic things, that the first things I do is appreciate. I think the there's so much power in appreciating, because no matter what's happening in your life, there are things to be so appreciative for. I have what I call rampage partners. And every single morning, it's part of my morning routine. I rampage with 4 people where I just tell them the amazing things that are happening in my life. And sometimes when I'm having a down and out day, it might just be 5 minutes in the morning. I'm appreciating my coffee because or whatever. But it starts your day amazing. It also makes you look for good things rather than look for the negative. And I think that so many people instantly go to negative, right? Like, let's go to positive. Let's see the good in things. Let's pivot to make something. So that would be the first step of working with me. We would figure out where you are, what you need, and also being a health coach, I want to integrate your health into the emotional work, because I think it's empowering to take your health into your own hands just as much as it is your emotional health.
I absolutely agree. Also, can you share a success story that particularly stands out to you?
For me,
Mm-hmm.
um, yes, I have been in numerous situations, especially at work, because that's my most trying times. Um, where I recently actually I got angry with a coworker, and it doesn't even matter why, but what I had to do, I had to step back. I mean, there was no, it was just a little bit of anger because of some things, and I had to take a step back, and I had to first thing I did was I ho'oponoponoed, and then the second thing I always have to do is have to find, if it's if I'm having an, I don't want to say an issue, but if it's something with another human, I have to find compassion. That's the number one thing I need to do. Because if I find the compassion that takes my anger down, even if, even in this case, I know, like, it's not a right and wrong thing, but we needed to talk about it. So what happened was I took a breath, I ho'oponopono while I'm taking a breath, and then I had to find the intent behind what was said. And I like, I knew it wasn't on purpose. He did not purposely say something to hurt me. He would never do that. But that's how I took it. That's how I received it. So I think that is super important on how you receive things. So I said to myself, this man is a kind man. He would not say something like that to hurt my feelings, whatever. And so what I did was then after we were both heated a little bit. Then we talked about it later, and we had this nice calm conversation, and it helps me feel emotionally free. Like, okay, I feel better, a kind of sort of thing. But it also helps that I know my coworkers. I mean, we're all who we are, and I know that they love me unconditionally. And I think that is a key in life also, to learn how to love with no conditions. And that's how I felt that day.
Mm-hmm. Hearing about real life transformation is always so inspiring. It shows that no matter how tough the journey is, there's always hope.
There is always hope. That's so true. I mean, I yeah, anybody who thinks they're hopeless, I'm your girl, because I will help you find hope in every situation. Maybe not every situation, but most of them.
That's amazing. So, what role does self compassion play in the process of choosing yourself, and how can one cultivate it?
Um, so I think there's a little bit of an umbrella of self-compassion, self-forgiveness, self-love. Those three things, while they're very, very different, they they I feel like they come together. If you're beating yourself up over a lot of things, I beat myself up often about not being perfect. And I don't anymore, but I have so much in my life, and it's like an internal perfectionism that is impossible to meet. I talk mean to myself. I'm uncaring. And then I read this book called The Untethered Soul, and in the first chapter, I think, he says, would you say the things you're saying in your head to somebody else? And the answer is always no. So I thought about that so much, and I'm thinking. So now I recognize when I say something to myself, How can I give myself compassion? For instance, with my son, one instance, like when I got super angry with him over something that didn't even need to be something so minor. So, I have a little bit of compassion for myself now. So I say things like, did you intentionally hurt him? No, I didn't physically hurt him. I No, the answer is no. I was I can give a million reasons why I did what I did, but the answer is it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to love yourself. It is okay to not dwell on what happened 10 years ago. It's okay to not dwell on what happened yesterday. It's okay to just say, I'm perfect just the way I am.
Because self compassion is such a vital aspect of self care.
Yeah, it's absolutely self-care, and if you're having a hard time doing it, write it down. Sometimes I used to write down all the things that I was negative about, and I would just like just a list. And then I would write, so if something was like as simple as the little argument I had last week, I would write that down, and then I would write, how can I fix it? And then if I couldn't fix it, I would write how I can just move on from it so I'm not holding on to it anymore.
Mm-hmm. That's such great advice. And finally, what message would you like to leave with our listeners who are just beginning their journey of self empowerment?
Learn to love yourself. You are worthy of all the love. And if I said those words and you felt like, no, I'm not, you absolutely are worthy of all the love in the world. It starts with you.
Mm-hmm. So, thank you so much, Vesta, for sharing your wisdom and experiences with us today. Your journey
Absolutely.
and
Thank you for having me. Oh, sorry.
no, it's fine. Your journey and insights are truly inspiring. To our listeners, remember that the power to choose yourself lies within you. Embrace it, nurture it, and let it guide you to a life of fulfillment and joy. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Share this podcast with your friends and family who might benefit from these empowering conversations. And as always, stay tuned for more episodes of Sacred Harmony, where we continue to explore the paths to inner peace and self discovery. Until next time, keep choosing you